Hi, I'm Hunter, and I'm going to be rambling about how much I dislike Hazbin Hotel in this video. I'm going to be going down a bullet point list of everything I find wrong with Hazbin Hotel. So far, this bullet point list has 22 things. If you have anything I forgot to mention, put it in the comments, please. Thank you. Let's get started. First things first, Viv's actual transphobia. Viv is transphobic. People do not want to admit it because she hides behind Sally Mae and Sally Mae's voice actress. She has used the wrong pronouns intentionally on workers. She has dead-named workers. She hides behind Sally Mae so that way she can be coming off as non-transphobic. You can look this up. You can find the tweets. You can find everything that these people have said she has done. This is all alleged. I'm going to say this first now because I realize this is probably going to make some people mad. Everything I say here is alleged, even though I'm saying it as a point. It's just easier for me to say that because it's hard for me to just be allegedly every single time. Okay, next point, Stolas and Blitz. Stolas and Blitz are in an abusive, toxic relationship, and they do not need to be together. Their relationship is going to keep falling apart, keep rebuilding, keep falling apart, and they're just going to keep hurting each other and hurting each other and hurting each other. It's disgusting, and it literally started off as sexual acts. And a lot of people don't want to believe this, but that's what kind of happens, based off of what I think anyway. Then there's also just the fact of them both using each other. Octavia and Stella. Stella had so much potential, and then it all got ripped away for her to be this angry Karen of a wife who just hates her husband because he's gay. No, actually speaking, she hates him because he cheated with a lower class individual. I don't think she would have cared if he cheated with an upper class individual. She's just classist, unfortunately. It's just went from this thing where she's supposed to be classist, and that's why she's supposed to hate it, to her just hating Stolas outright, being abusive. All this just to make her look like a bad guy, to make it be like, oh, it's okay that Stolas cheated. It's okay Stolas cheated because Stella is so bad. Stella's so bad. Moving on from Stella to Octavia, bombed as a character. I was so excited for her. But then they've written her to hate her dad because he had depression. She literally got upset about the pills than her dad breaking apart the family. They started having a better relationship, and then Stolas sacrificed himself for Blitz for some reason. Big problem with me on that one. She was such a good character, and then it just bombed. Next on my list is making Millie pregnant for her story. This is what Vivian thought would make us like Millie more and make us think that Millie had more of a story to her. Making her pregnant before we even got to know her. I didn't even care if Millie was pregnant. I was like, oh, she's pregnant. What a lovely way to improve a woman's story. Making her pregnant whenever she doesn't want to be pregnant. That's a very common trope, and it's very annoying. But like, they could have done so much more with Millie. I would have actually liked to gotten to know Millie, so that way whenever I found out she was pregnant, it was more impactful, because we barely know anything about Millie, other than she's a good sister, she's a good kid, and she's a good wife, and a good friend. That's all we know, is that she's good at this stuff. That's it. Vivian's weird obsession with MLM relationships and her sexualizing the hell out of them, and only the MLM relationships. It is literally just gay porn the whole time in Hell Boss, and it's really annoying. They have a straight couple, and the only scene they have that is sexual, Blitz and Stolas is whenever they are dressed up as siblings. Whenever they are making an incest joke. That's the only time they get sexual. That's disgusting. Next on my list, Val. And this isn't like me hating on Val. Yes, you can have problematic characters like Valentino, and you can write them really well. But Vivian does not write him well. It's a little bit iffy, because somebody who helps direct these scenes is a SA fetishizer. And he helps animate, he helps direct, all of this. And Vivian defends this. She defends this by saying he is a survivor of SA and it's his coping mechanism. It is not. He was never SA'd, and he admitted it on his Twitter. Next on my list is selling Valentino merchandise, which is still in the Valentino category, but selling merch of a rapist is wrong. No matter if it's a fictional character or not. That's you going and getting merch of one of the rapists from Special Victims Unit. It's wrong. You should not be selling merch of a rapist, period. And before people point out, well, Alistair's a serial killer, that's different, because there is serial killers like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. Those are serial killers that are different than a sexual assaulter, but I've seen someone else explain why perfectly well. But murderers are different than SAers because one is worse than the other. And yes, I fully believe that SA is worse than murder because at least you don't have to live through your murder. You have to live through your SA. Yes, it's worse on the family, but it's not worse on the person. That's my personal opinion, and I'm gonna get canceled for it. Next on my list is her making jokes about SA. Yes, she makes jokes about SA if it's not about Angel Dust. Serpentius was SA'd, Moxie was SA'd multiple times. Moxie was SA'd by Veronica in her posse or whatever, and he was SA'd by Blitzo when Blitzo just decided to grab his penis. That was wrong. That is still SA, because he did not consent. He clearly did not want that to happen. And I've seen people being defensive about it because, oh, they're just bros, that's what bros do. If you do that to your bros, you're weird. You're very, very weird. I hate to break it to you, my guy, you're very, very weird. Next on my list is Nifty, who is literally a pedophile bait. She is a 20-year-old woman who is 4 feet tall and acts like a toddler. Has a painting. It is so disgusting and so wrong and so gross. Nifty looks like a child, but you sexualize her, and she acts like a child, and you sexualize her. That is wrong. I am fine with characters that act like a child if you don't sexualize them. I'm gonna be honest here. Next one is that she can't write female characters at all. She can't write. All of her female characters suck. Next on my list is her saying Hazbin Hotel is for females and Hell of a Boss is for the dudes. No, it's not. They're both for guys because Hazbin Hotel does not have good writing for any of the women. Hate to break it to you. This is a little bit of a jab towards the fandom and the fact that they are defending everything that Vivian has done because it's an indie show. It is not indie anymore. It is produced by Amazon. It is not indie anymore. They are making millions off of this show. It is not indie. And that's why it has bad writing. First off, if you are watching an indie show and it has bad writing and you're just watching it because it's indie, you are not helping that person. Indie shows have to be good to become shows. To try to get actual producing, they have to be good shows. That's a bad defense saying, oh, well, it's indie, so it's going to be bad. You should not expect every indie show to be bad. I already mentioned the next one on my list, which is the incest joke in Unhappy Campers, where Moxie and Millie are playing as siblings, and then they just start making out and doing a bunch of stuff on the stage in front of everyone while they think they are siblings. That joke should not have happened. Same as Glitz and Glam, that should not happen either. Oh, but it's just part of their show. Still disgusting. Oh, but they could not be siblings. Still disgusting. Still fucking disgusting. It's gross. Glitz and Glam is very weird, very inappropriate, very gross. Next on my list is Alistair is supposed to be mixed. And Vivian just did that because she was getting in trouble for the fact that he does voodoo and he was white. Then there is the Karen client from the last episode of Hell of a Boss. She just came into existence to defend Blitz and Stolas' relationship. And we do not know what Karen went through before she snapped and she died and she started hating on her husband for the cheating. For all we know, they could have been a happy, loving relationship. Very happy, very sweet, very loving. And she could have snapped like Mrs. Mayberry. Got pissed off, homophobic, all of this because her husband cheated on her with a man. That's all I'm going to give on that one. I love Karen. I completely agree with Karen for being pissed. The homophobia, I don't agree with that. But her being pissed that her husband cheated, completely agree. Her lack of LGBTQ plus characters, specifically trans men and lesbians. There are no trans men characters that aren't side and get to talk, except for that one that said like 2 lines. It annoys me. And the lack of lesbian characters is so real that she made Mrs. Mayberry a lesbian just because she wanted to get some people off of her ass. Mrs. Mayberry was in a loving, happy relationship with her husband until he cheated on the woman that she fell in love with. I also hate Mrs. Mayberry, and I forget her name, as a couple. I hate it. It would have been better if they did a short on how they fell in love, and then I might have liked it, but no, I hate it. Next on my list is the swearing problem. I don't need to explain this. There's too much swearing. Oh, it's an adult show. Too much swearing. Oh, it's just how she writes. Too much swearing. I swear a lot. I swear a fucking lot. But I don't swear that much. Not even my stepmom swears that much. And my stepmom has a true swearing problem. Next on my list, everybody is skinny. Everybody. Except for 4 characters. Maybe a few more. Other than that, everyone is skinny. Makes me a little annoyed. I get it. It's just her style. But you can give some characters some chub. Honestly, I would love to see Nifty chubby. I would love to see that. I might make my Nifty chubby. Who knows? Next on my list is red. That's it. That's all I said was red. And I don't think I need to give any more context to that. Last things last on my list is Emily. She looks like a child. Same problems with Nifty. She looks like a child. And that line where she says, I am not a child, is so funny to me because, girl, you look like one. That's all I have to complain about. Bye-bye.